Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Happy Sunday, you guys. I hope you had an amazing week. I hope you had an outstanding weekend, but it is not over yet. Today is Sunday, and we're going to be talking about Book 3. Book 3, Raising Kanan. It is our new fave. You guys know we just got off of the P-Valley roller coaster, and we are all in for Book 3, Raising Kanan, at least until about the 6th or 7th episode. You know, that's when I started to get a little I started to feel a little lackluster, started to be feeling a little jaded. You know, you guys have to rally me up for the last few episodes. But right now we are loving it. I heard, I read a couple of comments down below from last week when people were talking about it wasn't as exciting for a first episode because in season 1 we had a body in the first episode. But listen. I think it's a good idea for them to give us the conversations, give us all of the feels, right? I think we need that. I think it's something that's missing out of a lot of TV shows nowadays. We just don't have enough dialogue that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That is just as exciting as all of the action. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really get any car chases in these shows. We don't get a lot of car chases and explosions and things like that. We get shootouts, yeah. We get fights, we get brawls, but mostly what we get are capers. Right? We get adventure, right? We get these moments where we get to learn a little bit more about our characters. Come on. Episode 2 was good for that reason. We touched on every single solitary character, and it was meaningful and it was intentional. Let's get into it, okay? First of all, the facts. Y'all already know we doing this now. Facts for this episode, episode 3. Episode 2, season 2, right? Facts. Scrap is in danger. Okay, I neglected to talk about it last week because y'all know I was at the family compound. I wasn't here in studio, and so I forgot to mention that after Rock had a conversation with Scrap when they had the departmental meeting down at the Chelsea or wherever that is they running the drugs out of the apartment complex. Rock had talked with Scrap about gambling, that illegal gambling. Like, I lay off of that gambling, sir, because I don't want them to lock you up and then you get pulled in down there. It's just a reason for them to be able to harass us and to get inside of what's going on with the organization, right? And so it was a warning, right? Okay, so Scrap went then immediately down to his mother's basement where they had a illegal gambling operation going on, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, the police come in and they done took him to jail. Now he done went down to jail, him and his mama, and they tried to talk to him. No biggie. No big deal. He say nothing, do nothing, pay your bail, and go home, right? Like, you probably gonna have to go back to court on the gambling charge. Maybe, yes, maybe, no. We don't know. But at the same time, Scrap is a loyal dude. Scrap is a loyal dude. Remember, the reason why Scrap lost his eye is because he lost his eye for the family. He lost his eye defending Rock and her organization and Lou and Marvin. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ride for Rock and her crew. He ride for them. So, like I said, he's been arrested for illegal gambling, and because he was warned by Rock about the gambling, he keeps the facts of the situation from them because he don't want her to be like, didn't I tell you not to do such and such and such and such and such? Plus, on top of that, he's upset. He's upset because he hears that Rock want to bring in one of Unique's old guys, Warrell, to run the 40s with Lou. Why wouldn't you have me run the 40s with Lou? Like, I've been rocking with y'all forever, right? And so he got a lot to say about that too, while not saying anything about this gambling situation. And all of this breeds the perfect storm for why Scrap is in danger. It is a huge, huge, huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. Fact number 2, Famous. Famous is definitely our Mookie. You guys remember Mookie from New Jack City, right? Like a regular person, everyday person, and next thing you know, he's strung out. Like he's a full-on crackhead. This is where Famous is heading, right? And his sister, Jessica, is on her way to California. You know what I'm saying? She done rode Crown Camacho's penis all the way into California, child. You know what I'm saying? And she gonna be our next Felicia. Y'all remember Felicia from Boys in the Hood? Bye, Felicia. She gonna be our next Felicia. Give her 3 months. Give her 3 months. Famous strung out in 3 months. Right? Like he's a full-on dope head in 3 months, stealing from his mama's purse. He got stray cats all in the house, aka white girls, all in the house, and stealing from his mama's handbag and things of this nature. He done got sought out, and now he out here on these streets selling these lame behind mixtapes, and ain't nobody buying. And they 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1, 5 for 1. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kanan spend this whole episode looking like a bunch of dejects. I don't know what's going on with Kanan in this whole situation, but I digress. Famous is definitely our new Mookie, and Jessica up there in California is gonna be our next Felicia. You know, 3 months. I just give it 3 months. Okay. Listen. Fact number 3. Unique is really feeling the effects in this episode. He really feels the effects of Rock having framed him, because it not only destroyed his entire operation, okay, it left him without a place to stay, a place to live. He over there living with his girl and his baby in her mama's house, right? And the mama don't want him there. She don't want him nowhere near that piece of property, right? Even though he paid the rent on it, he done given her hundreds of thousands of dollars to go here and there with her church friends. You know what I'm saying? He done paid her bills, all of that. And now that he needs something, she want his deadbeat behind out. Right? Oh, it's nothing worse than having all of the things, honey, all of the money, all of the cars and everything. And then when you get down, people don't know you. They don't know you, and they treat you like any other piece of trash on the street. Whereas before, when they saw you, they was like, Unique, come on in, have a seat. We love you. We fixed you a plate. We saved you a seat at the table. Now it's like, you're a bum. You're a bum. You don't have nothing to offer me. You don't have nothing to give me. You're a bum. Get out of here. Ooh, he is feeling dejected. When he goes down to see Dean, y'all know Dean. Okay. It's something about Dean. I know I date Deans. I think I mentioned this in season 1. I primarily date Deans. I primarily date just sort of like a kind of odd looking, off-putting character who has a lot of confidence, who's like a quiet storm, that if you ain't careful, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, sarcastic, passive aggressive, secretly angry, yet really, really great in bed character. I've dated Deans before. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so listen. He go down there to see Dean, and first of all, he can barely get in the door. You know, Dean got a gatekeeper down there at the bingo hall. Meanwhile, all the bingo hall people look like props. They all act like they do not see what's going on. Until Unique really shows his donkey. He really shows his donkey. But first, he just got to get in the door. When he tried to get in the door, listen. Speaking of sarcastic, passive-aggressive energy from Dean, Dean man done him Unique up. Because you think you just finna bust up in here? You think you just finna walk up in here? No, sir. You're not going to do that. Okay. He's like, I got this pistol aimed in at your guts. And Dean is like, everybody just calm down. And Unique is like, get your hands off me, sucker. Get your hands off of me. You must have forgot who I am. Dean said no. He ain't forgot who you are. He just rather not remember. I was like, man, if you don't... You know what I'm saying? It's shade, and then it's shade, and then it's scalpel sharp. Like, that is scalpel sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like, it went right over Unique's head. It went right over Unique's head. He ain't forgot you. He just rather not remember. Okay. I was like, Dean, I know you. I know you from the early 2000s. I ain't forgot you. But anyway, I digress. And Dean lets him know. When they come sit down at the table, Dean helping grandmama, Dean lets him know. Dean lets him know. Dean say, listen, you're radioactive, sir. Huh? There's nothing we can do for you. I can't help you. I'm in a bad way. Rock got the Colombians getting her drugs. She don't need no drugs from me. Okay? Plus, I don't know what deal you made to get out of jail. I ain't no snitch. I ain't no snitch. This is why I got out of jail. I got out of jail because they know I didn't do this thing. And Dean is like, either way, I'm just saying. It's nothing here for you, right? It's nothing here for you. Like, you ain't got no plug. You ain't got no crew. You ain't got no spot. Your name is trash. Like, no, it's nothing we can do for you. I mean, Unique is mad. Like I said, everybody in the bingo hall, they look like props. Except when he throw that chair, somebody's like, sir? Okay, they all elderly people, all elderly stand-in, fill-ins, you know what I'm saying, extras. He walked past that potluck table. Ooh, it hurt my heart the way he flipped that mac and cheese and them jello squares off that table. He just flipped it. Everybody was like, ooh, not the ambrosia salad. Sir, you, sir, are a brute. Meanwhile, Dean remains unbothered. Later on, he goes down to his haberdashery. You know, they used to do tailored suits and things of this nature there. That's his secret lair. It's trash. It's been torn all apart, torn all asunder. Warrell come up in there, and see, Warrell has already been approached by Rock and Marvin and Lou. You know what I'm saying? He'd already been approached. He already been sold a game. He already realized that the streets is not where it's at. I don't really have a crew leader. I need a crew leader. I need to get this money. I need to get this bag. They're gonna put him over at the 40s with Lou. You know, and he has been assured by Lou that we ain't dating. You know what I'm saying? This about this bag, this about this money. Even though you tried to kill me and I tried to kill you, now we talking money, right? Like, let's just get this money thing, right? It's fine. So when he walks into this haberdashery torn asunder, and Unique is there, and he is sullen. He is so sullen. Now, his girlfriend done told him she saw Rock down at the bodega, and Rock scared her because Rock locked eyes with her, and baby, when I tell you, she did not let go. Until that door closed behind her, she did not let go. Them eyes locked on her like, if you breathe funny, kablooey, okay? If you sneeze, kablooey, right? If you step 1 inch to the left and you step on a piece of rice and I hear it, okay, Molly whopped. Okay, this is what she did when she looked at her. Okay, and when she goes back and tells Unique, she's like, I'm afraid, I'm scared. I saw her down at the bodega, but she didn't say she was coming out of the back and she was doing this and she was doing that. I'm sure that's going to be a conversation, but right now it's very benign. It just looks like she saw Rock down in the bodega, yada, 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 yada. So he's still not any the wiser. Had he pushed that conversation a little bit more, he would have known. He would have been thinking differently about the bodega. But we're going to talk about all of that. When Warrell walks in and he is sullen and he is sad and he is in the middle of his stink and his own ish and unk that Rock caused, yeah, but at the same time, he didn't see coming. And Warrell's, and he tell Warrell he ain't finished, he ain't done, he ain't going nowhere. And Warrell says, I ain't going nowhere either with you. I'm rolling with Rock Crew. Okay, you're done. You're finished here. I can't help you rebuild your empire because I've moved on to something else. I rock with Rock's cock. I rock on Rock's cock now. You know, I rock with Rock. I rock with Rock cock. I digress. Anywho, so these are the facts. These are the facts. Now let's get to the details of this situation now. Come on now. We're going to talk about Rock last. We are. Okay. Let's talk about Kanan. Kanan is still feeling emotional. Okay. He watching TV with Juke. And she mentions to him after she sees him getting emotional about this movie that they're watching. I don't know if it was Cooley High. I can't remember what they was watching, but she was talking about somebody named Cochise, and I guess he was getting beat up or killed or shot or something. And it's an emotional moment for Kanan, and she sees him crying, and she starts joning him about it and ribbing him about the fact that he is getting emotional. And she tells him, don't lose that. That's the thing about you, is that you still have a heart, that you still care. It's one of the best parts about you. Don't ever lose that, Kanan. And Kanan is like, I'm not crying, it's just a silly movie. And they get the pillow fighting, and it's a moment. It is a moment. It's one of the few fleeting moments we get to see of childhood. The other thing about Kanan, he spends this entire episode running behind Famous, trying to see what Famous got going on. He don't want to be in the drug game. He don't, when we saw him first season, he was working hard to get into the drug game. Now he's back to being a stupid kid around the block and, trying to help Famous come up with some money, because Famous mama done sat him out for stealing out of her purse and bringing trash into her home in the form of stray cats, aka white girls. And so, he's not saying this is what you need to do. You need to get a job, yada, yada, yada. He's just waiting on whatever idea Famous have, and then he gonna, be the supporting cast of that idea. I was like, why aren't you back down in architectural school, in this class? Like, why are you just, what's going on with the Kanan character? What's happening with the Kanan character? I don't understand. Like I said, he sees firsthand how Famous is falling off, hoeing, stealing, and getting sought out. We see where, they are hawking mixtapes and, trying to get a little money up after they go down to Lou's studio and get the tapes, the mixtapes, the remaining mixtapes. Lou is like, take them, child. I don't care what y'all do with them tapes. You know what I'm saying? They ain't worth nothing. What you need to do, Famous, is you need to get off of that Mary Jane. I was like, what? How much Mary Jane is he smoking? I mean, people have written whole albums, contracts. People have gotten whole degrees, written doctoral papers off of marijuana. I just don't understand. Like, Famous got to be doing more than just smoking pot. He got to be. He done fell off too bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, it will rob you of your ambition if you do too much, but still, good gracious alive. I was like, man, y'all putting too much on this marijuana thing now. Come on now. Famous is doing something else, and you stealing money. We talking about a time frame where you can have 5 on it. I mean, if it's 4 of y'all, that's $20. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's $20. This was back at a time when you could still get a dime bag, 20 piece, that type of thing. So what are we talking about? Why are you stealing money? Like, you got to be doing more than just pot. Sorry, said it. Lou tells him, get off the pot, start writing, bring it back in the studio. We'll do the beats then. If you really want to make this work, if you really want to get some money, if you really want to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they out there trying to sell these mixtapes, 10 for $1. You know what I'm saying? 25 for 15 cents. And the police walk up and harass them, kick their bags over, dump all their stuff out. Just the stupid stuff that cops do. and still doing to this day. So, you know, and he's sitting there with that snarl, that growl. I was like, settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Okay, you a queen pen's son. Why is you out here in front of the convenience store with this foolery? Chill. Meanwhile, everybody got gold ropes. Everybody got gold ropes. I was like, how much was gold worth back then? Because all the broke people got plenty of gold jewelry and not selling it to get their money up. I don't know. It's weird, but I digress. So, we also see where he goes home and he talks to his mom, who he notices immediately is anxious. She's like, where have you been? You know, this Rock, where have you been? Why have you been outside? And I don't know. And you need to call and let me know. And he was like, wait. What's going on with all this motherly love and affection, child? Something's going on. Why are you so worried? What's up? And she is trying to tell him that he may get a visit from this cop, but the cop is all screwed up in the head. He all mixed up. He may say some things that screwed up and mixed up, and it just don't even pay him any attention. And he is like, Mom, you told me that this wouldn't happen. You told me that it was cool. You told me he didn't remember. You told me he don't know nothing about what happened and what I did, the role I played in it. So what gives? What? And she was like, oh no, I got you. Just know if he come to you with any kind of conversation, he don't know what he remember or what he forgot. It's all convoluted. It's gonna be like a harebrained story. Just disregard all that and know that Mom's got you. The sense of dread in his belly cannot be denied. He knows that he's seen this guy driving past. He knows a lot more than Rock is giving him credit for, but this is the part that it is why things go south. Is because even though she don't have to keep secrets from him, she can tell him what it is and he has to abide by it. But for some reason, she is really, really tied to the fact that she wants Kanan to think of her as a regular mom. Even though everything she shows him is the opposite to that, she, instead of just coming clean, like he pulled the trigger, just tell him. He in this thing deeper than anybody. It's best for you to just go ahead and tell him. He's not going to take this information no harder than he did you killing his best friend, or what you did in this episode, or what you had him do. Right? All of it is hard. All of it he got to process. Right? But what you don't want is him half cocked on the streets. And maybe she feels like if she tells him the truth, he going to be half cocked on the streets anyway. But at least he won't be fodder. But what do I know? I digress. She get up and go hug him, and you could tell when he hugged her, the look of dread in his face. He knows at some point he's gonna have to deal with this situation, and he knows there's more to it than what she's saying, and he's really, really afraid of those facts coming out. Period. Okay, that's Kanan. We already talked about Unique. Listen, Marvin is in anger management, you guys. Okay, and he is in this class and he is being obnoxious and passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Which is still aggression, which is still a form of aggression. It's just a form of aggression that usually triggers others who have issues with anger, right? It's very triggering. He's eating things and it's loud. He's smacking his lips. He's rattling the packages. All of these things instead of participating. And everyone goes around the circle and tells what bothers them. One guy, a white guy, bald guy, says that he hates being ignored. He hates feeling as though he's not there and people are ignoring him and that he doesn't matter. And Marvin, who just looks like he's not paying attention, like he's trying to pass time and he's eating corn chips and he's being all loud and rude and stuff. And everybody's like, sir, could you chew with your mouth closed, please? Right? Are we done with the chips? Is there not something softer you can eat at this time, sir? You know, and everybody's telling what makes them angry, and the lady is like, people get angry, okay? People do get angry. Anger is okay. It's the intensity of the anger, right? We need to work on, and we need to be mindful of. Marvin, why don't you tell us what makes you angry? And Marvin was like, I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. I don't get angry. I don't know nothing about no anger. Okay. And it's in this moment I start to really appreciate Marvin's character. I don't know if we just weren't getting as much because he was more of Rock's whipping boy in first season. Or if the actor just, is getting more scenes where he seems to be able to emote better. But it's these little gestures with his head and his nod and his body language and the way he's doing his shoulder. I was like, you come on, you better act, sir. You better give us acting. Come on. Okay. And he was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get angry. And she was like, well, everybody has something that angers them. Like, you're in this class for a reason. And then other people around the room are just starting to be just a little bit vocal. And the white guy says something. And Marvin goes immediately into this passive aggressive mode where he was like, actually, Henry, I don't even hear you. I don't even see you. Did anybody hear me talking? He knows that this pisses this guy off. He knows that this guy is insecure. He's acting like he's not listening in this class, but clearly he is. And clearly he's smart enough to reverse the roles in this situation and trigger this guy to the point where the guy stands up and he is like, I will muck you up. How dare you? And Marvin is like, I don't see a person or any hair on a person's head. He just continues to passive aggressively not even look at the guy, not even acknowledge the guy, which further upsets the guy. And finally, when the lady cools the individual down and looks at Marvin, Marvin's like, I still remain unbothered. I was like, oh, Marvin. Tell them about the last time you lost it, Marvin. How about that? I digress. We see where Marvin has been given the task of talking to Scrap and finding out what's going on with Scrap. Like, somebody heard you was downtown. He doesn't say that. Instead, he was like, where was you yesterday? Where was you the day before? You've been gone for a few days. Like, what's up? And Scrap is like, I had to help my cousin Ebony hang some pictures. And Marvin's like, your cousin Ebony hang pictures? Still, he's doing the passive aggressive thing. Again, this was one of Marvin's better episodes. The actor who plays Marvin, I can't call his name right now, but he does a really good job in this episode. There are a lot of things said that were well done, and there's a lot of body language that he gives in this episode that shows stellar acting skills, right? So Scrap goes on and on and on. He just kind of says the Ebony thing as a fly. He really wants to talk about how much he's poured into this family, how much he's done for this family, the fact that he lost the eye for this family, and that they would give this Warrell guy, one of Unique's old guy, a lieutenant spot over here in the 40s instead of him. Why would you do that? Like, I don't even get it. I've done a lot for this family, and I'm entitled to come up, and I'm entitled to make the ranks too. And he goes on and on in this long diatribe, and Marvin is just looking at him, right? And he says, so when you say you helped your cousin Ebony move, like, disregarded the entire speech that Scrap made, the entire plea about being leveled up, being hurt about not being leveled up. He disregards it. He stays focused. It is infuriating. Scrap is like, what? Yeah. So when you say you was helping your cousin hang photos, how can you do that and you ain't got but one eye? You would think everything was off balance. Scrap is like, yeah, everything is off balance. Tying my shoes, driving, reading road signs, it's all off balance. That's what I gave up for you guys. And Marvin is like, oh, okay. Okay. Then he goes and he investigates the Ebony story. It does not pan out. Then he goes and meets with Rock and Lou, and he talks with Rock and Lou about the situation and just lays it out. He cannot prove. He's been to the police station. The only snitch they got down there in the paperwork, according to his lawyer, is old girl, the white chick from the club last season. And while she did have long, scrapey type teeth, you know, they were still beautiful. And now she's engaged to a dentist in East Mayonnaise somewhere. They don't have nothing on Scrap. He reports all of this. There's nothing concrete. There's nothing concrete. Okay, Lou is like, we don't know for sure. Marvin don't know for sure. Marvin's like, I don't know for sure, but at the same time, I just bringing y'all the facts. Rock is like, this gotta be done. If he is talking, I got it on good authority. If you got it on good authority, why are we going through all of this? Lou says. It was a good point. It was a good point. If you got it on good authority, then why are we going through all of this anyway? You gonna do what you gonna do anywho. Right? But we have all known Scrap to be loyal. And Rock just lets them know it's gonna be him or it's gonna be us. You know what I'm saying? Because if he is talking, it's not gonna just be this business, it's gonna be your music career too, sir. You might want to keep that in mind. You might want to keep that in mind. So it's a crazy moment. Let's talk about Juke real quick. Juke staying with Rock, you know. And she got a little small den that she's staying in. And she asked Rock about her mama. And Rock gives her this conversation about her mom being, she remembers her. And she was a singer. That's where you get your gift from. She passed it down to you. And then she talks a little bit about her mom leaving and everybody not being cut out for motherhood. It's a lot of pressure. And it's a lot to give to one person. And she kind of, you know, she's not mad at Kenya for leaving because she understands the pressure of motherhood. And Juke is like, well, but she left me before I even knew her. And I don't respect it. I don't respect that. And Rock is like, yeah, you know what? You shouldn't. I don't respect it either. I'm just saying I understand to a certain degree how a person can get fed up. She said, but you know, you is good, you is kind, you is smart, okay? And I love you, okay? And moves past the conversation. Juke's not done with it yet. In this moment, I had just a small sneaky suspicion. I've seen the clip of this conversation on the internet. TSF Entertainment shared it on Instagram, and every time I hear it, I think to myself, Rock had something to do with Kenya leaving. It just seemed to, it was just another one of those moments where she was kind of weaving it seems like she's talking to you, she understands what you're saying, and she's siding with you when you don't know all along she's the reason why you're in the pain in the first place. I got a sneaky suspicion that Rock is the reason why Kenya left the way she did and left her baby. That's what I think. Just by that conversation, it feels like all the conversations Rock has had with Kanan, where she has told him some story that made it seem like she understood, she was siding with them, and she could understand, and she was empathizing, when all along she's the reason for the pain that the person is in, that Kanan is in, and Juke is in. That's what I think. I'm prepared to be wrong, but it came across that way to me. Rock is beautiful and ethereal, and when she was sitting on that couch and Kanan walked in the house and they had that conversation about him being gone and where you been, and you need to let me know where you are. She looks so much like Diana Ross. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. But listen, Rock is a monster. Rock is a monster. Okay, but we're gonna talk about it. Juke gets this idea that she gonna go to Detective Burke, who is Detective Howard's partner. She needs something to do anyway because all the police down at the police station trying to work on Detective Howard's case, including her, but she working at Kanan angle, right? And she still got Nicole's mama coming down there blaming her because they feel like Detective Burke took up for Juke. Juke gave her the drugs. We have no proof of that. So she done brought a representative from the mayor's office down there and got Burke and the chief of police in the office, and she wants answers. And she wants Burke fired. You know what I'm saying? Because my daughter wouldn't have never had those drugs if it wasn't for that thug, Juke. And everybody was like, there's no evidence to prove that. Like, we can't prove any of this stuff. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not the point. We empathize with you, but, you know. So she needs something else to work on, right? Juke wants her to find her mama, which she does. The lady just up the road. She's just in like a different borough, Ave, whatever it is they call they stuff in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like Queensbridge, Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy. She just in one of them other little sections. You know what I'm saying? That's like the cab. Lithonia, Fulton County. It's like that. She just up the road. She in the same state. And she found out from the detective she'd been married twice and divorced, and she ain't got no kids. Juke sees the address and goes over there. And mind you, Detective Burke is like, you owe me one. I was like, it ain't gonna be the one you want, though, boo. I'm telling you now. Juke, you ain't got to worry about Juke. They ain't got to never worry about pulling a gun on Juke and claiming her to be a snitch. Juke don't snitch. Juke do not snitch, boo. Okay, anyway, she go over there and see the lady, and she's sitting at, it looked like a fairly nice brownstone she live in. And still got a lot of trash on the streets, but I digress. Juke done went over there, and she looking at a picture, and she looking at the address, and the lady come out and get in the cab. Now, it must have been at this time cabs didn't have the signs, the cab sign on the top of the car, because I done seen several people catch a cab in this episode, and I ain't never seen nothing on the side that say taxi, or a light on the top that say taxi. So I don't know, when did the taxi people have to start identifying themselves as taxis? I thought it was odd, but I digress. See her mama get in a taxi and drive off. I was like, Juke is smarter than all of these. She know how to do surveillance better. You know, Marvin out here trying to do surveillance on Unique, and he driving a candy apple red Lexus. He trying to do surveillance on Scrap cousin Ebony and verify the story. He tell her he a handyman and he covered in gold chains and driving a candy apple red Lexus. Juke is better and smarter than all of these people. She know how to keep her mouth closed. She know how to keep her hands clean, right? I like Juke. Y'all already know that. I like Juke, and I'm sad for Juke, and I stand by that. Okay, so we see where Lou, like I said, Lou is walking the line. Okay, he knows he needs to hold it in the road with his sister, right? Because again, Rock is a monster, okay, and a psychopath. And you know, I think Lou is starting to see that a lot more, especially since he doesn't really want to be in the drug game anyway. But like I said, he's still walking that line between music and the drug game. And he takes up for Scrap. He takes up for Scrap harder than anyone, even though it seemed like Scrap spent more time with Marvin. It's Lou that takes up for Scrap, but Lou is the one that is the most fed up with this situation with the drug game, period. He really don't want to do any of this. And honest, truth be told, Lou haven't really been right, like full on, since he shot Kanan's best friend in the first season. I digress. He takes up for Scrap, and he reinforces things, like I said, with Famous. When they come to get the mixtapes, he tells him, listen, it's not that I'm trying to give up on you. It's not that I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't writing. All you doing is smoking. Do better, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to stand by you, right? We also see where he assures Warrell he's strictly business. Like I said, he's walking the line. He's towing the line. He's keeping them both situations balanced. We see where we get to finally meet Cartier Fareed. Cartier Fareed is played by old boy who played Hollywood on Queen Sugar, right? He's also from Decatur, the Deck, right? Decatur, Georgia, for those of you guys who don't know. So he is kind of managing Zisa, the singer that Lou found. Okay. Also, he seems to have legit money. In other words, he don't really have to do a lot of hustling on the street. How he getting his money? He's getting his money. He's the top of the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? He's top of the pyramid. So he's more into distribution, and the way he gets his money is not from lower level hustling. Basically, he's got his hands in a lot of things: art, music, and business. Okay. It's a good moment. We see where basically what he wants is to just do a single. Let Zisa do a single. And then they split the proceeds of that single. And then, but Crown Camacho, first of all, he's not feeling it for Zisa anyway. Anything that Lou brings, he's not going to be feeling. But Lou keeps reminding him, I'm the money behind this whole situation. So, yeah. And, so when Fareed comes in and he proposes this, let's do one single, he says, okay, so if the single blow up, then we ate out. Like, we put the music up, we put the studio time up, and we've done all this, cultivated, paid for like, Fareed is like, who are you again? He was like, oh, Camacho. Oh yeah, you kin to so and so and so, like trying to kind of schmooze a little bit. And Crown is like, what about this money? And Fareed is like, you know what? Maybe we can work something out in the deal. Lou don't care. Because guess what? He wants what he wants. He likes Zisa. He likes Zisa's sound. He believes in Zisa. So he agrees to the single. Shakes on it. And Camacho's like, what the duck? I said no. And Lou was like, I said it's done. Right? As far as Lou is concerned, if something is broke, I'll just take a giant hammer and whack and whack and whack at it until it gets into place. He don't even understand what he getting in with this Fareed guy, because I think it's gonna be more than what he expected. I think Crown Camacho knows a little bit more about Fareed than he's let. It's something he feels suspect about. Let me just say that. Later on, we get to see where Jessica is giving Lou one last ride. One last ride. Lou has had a busy day. Like I said, he's made the Fareed Zisa deal, and he has been unequivocally clear about the fact that he is not gonna be the one to kill Scrap. If they find out that Scrap is a snitch, he's not gonna be the one to do it. I'm not doing it. No matter what you do, I'm not doing it. So when Jessica is giving him one last ride, and she slides up off of it and tells him that she's about to go to New York, like tomorrow. Like my bags are already packed, I'm going to New York. And he is like, when was you gonna tell me? Crown got me a job up there. So you and Crown? That's what's going on? And she was like, listen, I gotta take care of myself. So you baited on your brother too? And she was like, listen, I gotta see about me. I gotta look after me. Famous is not trying to do what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Why should I worry about his career? And he's not worried about his career. And Lou is like, you know what? Get the duck out. He throws her out. When we get to see a really touching moment, which Kanan is there for, where she's getting in the car one last time to go to the airport, and her mom is like, go, be a star, be great, and don't worry about coming back here. Don't worry about coming back here. There's nothing for you here. Everything you need is in California. You're going to go and you're going to be great. She's going to go. She's going to get turned out and strung out. That's what it is. There's this really touching moment where she goes to talk to Famous, and he is like, I don't need you. I don't need you for nothing. And he's crying because she's leaving, and she's crying because even though he's trying to act mad, she can see he's still her hurt little brother, her sweet little brother, and she's going to miss him. Jessica's gone. She's done. In more ways than one, I suspect. Now let's go and talk about Rock so we can get on out of here. Listen. The reason why I like that Detective Howard this season is, one, he's a lot more calm. He's not as cocky. And he's very focused and self-assured in this season. He seems like. Now, this is just episode 2, but this is what I'm saying. He knows Rock. When Rock gets the phone call, I thought it was about Unique getting out. But no, it was Detective Howard asking to meet her in the same place where he got shot. And she goes. She actually goes to that spot. It's a part of her that knows him. It's a part of her that knows that he's still down for them streets in some capacity, right? So else why would you show up there? So, but he got her number too. He has more than got her number. He knows how to buckle her needs. He tells her not only about herself, he tells her about her son, and he drops a bee in her bonnet about Scrap. This is her inside intel about Scrap. Now, it's unbeknownst to him what he's doing. He's really just further trying to buckle her knees. He tells her how his life flashed before his eyes. He promised the Lord that he would right all his wrongs if he let him survive, and lo and behold, he did survive it. Okay, and he talks about how Kanan can't shoot worth ish, and he says, I did this wrong. What I did was I thought it would be easier if I left it up to you to tell Kanan that I was his father, but I see now it's something I gotta do. She was like, it was a lot of guys around the way that I was with, you know what I'm saying? Now, he done told her smoking's bad for her. She's smoking, and she was like, so are cops. Cops are bad for you too. And it's real funny coming from somebody who gave me my first cigarette. He was like, touche. This one, he went into the story about, you know, how his life flashed before his eyes, and he trying to right all his wrongs, woo 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 woo. And at this time, Rock is still riding high. You know what I'm saying? She's still self-assured and cocky and all of these things. And he's telling her about, I made this mistake, and she's saying, I was with a lot of dudes. What make you think? He said the night that Kanan got into that fight and came to the station, he was leaking. I got his blood sample, and it proves that he's my son. And I mean, just with every little bit of the conversation, it's like a little soft blow to her underbelly. You know, and she's just like, you know, knees just buckling, right? They just slightly wobbling now, just slightly, just a slightly wobble. But she's still being smart mouth, and she's still holding in the road. You know, she don't break her stare, all of these things, but it don't even matter. It don't matter. Like I said, he's laser focused. Okay, he knows what he needs to do. He knows that he can't underestimate her. He knows from way back, and the fact that he got shot and she sent his son to do it, that Rock cannot be trusted. He is not going to take his eyes off of this dog. He's not going to take his eyes off of this dog, because he knows this dog will rip his throat out. He knows it, right? I love it. I love this scene. He said, he tells Rock, he wants Kanan to know that he's his father. And he says, and I saw the look in his eyes that night. This is not for him. He is not cut out for this game, Rock. You know, and Rock is like, you know, what do you know about truth? And he was like, don't even bring up a word you have no concept of what that word is. You have no experience with that word. You know what I'm saying? You've spent no time with truth, right? He knows she can't be trusted, right? And as he walks off, he says, yeah, down at the police detective, you got a snitch down in the police detective, down in the police station. It's a one-eyed Jack. And she was like, Scrap? And he was like, yeah, well, he worked for us. Now he telling us everything. It's just another nail in the coffin. He doesn't know that taking this opportunity to rattle her cage a little bit more also puts Scrap in danger, it's not important. What's important to him is that he needs to just keep giving her these soft blows to the belly and buckling her knees, because it's going to make her act out of character. It's going to make her show her hand. That's his hope. That really is his hope. Because as she's walking off, he says to her, Kanan about to know Rock. Kanan about to know. And when she's walking off, she is like, oh, man, well, I tell you, she walked off. When she tried to take the first 2 steps and he's like, we got a snitch downtown, she was like, ugh. Right? And just for good measure, Kanan gonna know Rock. Kanan gonna know. Okay. Oh, it was a good scene between the two of them, 2 seasoned actors. It was really, really good. So like I said, Rock worried about Scrap. She put Marvin on it. He went through everything he went through. Then she meets with Warrell and she tells him, she basically lays it down and sells the game to him. He's afraid he's gonna get killed while he's there. And Rock was like, no, I'm gonna put you to work. You need work, don't you? I'm gonna put you over here. Right? Then she goes down to the bodega and she finds out that she's got boxes and boxes, like banker boxes, full of money. Rock, how much do a safe cost, Rock? How much? How much do a safe cost? We done had safes since the early 1800s. Like, what are we doing? Why is your money in banker boxes? Your papers aren't safe in banker boxes. Banker boxes aren't waterproof. They aren't moisture proof. Why do you have your money, which is paper and cotton, linen? I digress. Fabric. I digress. But still, Rob, what are you doing? Okay, the rats eating the money, eating through the boxes, eating through the money. Right? And she wants Juliana to get an entire exterminated. And Juliana's like, why do you just have this money sitting here? Why aren't you using this money for something? Like, what are you doing? I sent my money to get home back for my family in Colombia. And you just sitting on your money here. She was like, look, hire a exterminator, Juliana, and get rid of these rats. I'm like, all it takes is just change out your medium. Not paper, maybe plastic, rock, maybe metal. I don't know. Anyway, this is when she sees Unique's girlfriend when she leaving out the back and she walking past her, and she don't break stare on old girl. Okay, then Rock goes down to a real estate agency, and what she gonna do is she gonna take all this money she done made, this cash, and she gonna buy a house. What she should be doing is just buying properties. That's what she should be doing. She should be buying properties and either flipping them or turning them into businesses that she can then move her money through. But she new in the game still. Huge empire, but that money piece is a whole nother game. Like, moving in drugs is one thing. Staying on top of that money and it being clean and being counted and accounted for, that's a whole nother animal. So she decides she gonna buy a house. Now the lady throws shade. She want to give a brownstone down the way, suburban neighborhood somewhere in New York with other black people, and Rock want to know about where the white folks live, where the good white folks live. Why can't I get a house there? And of course, there's some racial biases there. And Rock is like, I'm paying for my house in cash. Well, you know that also means we still need income taxes, proof of income, all of those things. And Rock was like, I got everything I need. I tell you what you do. You just find me a piece of property. This is what she gonna do with the money. I was like, Rock, you need to talk with somebody. Where's Symphony? You need to talk with somebody. This ain't your wheelhouse, boo. This ain't your wheelhouse. We see the end of the episode. This is a very, very it's a crazy scene, man. It's a crazy scene, and it was so sad too. We see Lou and Marvin in the car with Scrap, and Scrap is thinking that he is going to see this new spot that they're going to put him down on. He's going to finally be this lieutenant. It's so ridiculous. It's so sad. and scary and crazy and emotional because it's literally like they're taking their dog Scrap out to pasture. Scrap is bouncing around the car. He is so happy. Lou is dead silent, and so is Marvin. Marvin's driving. Lou is on the passenger side. Scrap is in the back, and he is literally like your like when you taking your dog to the dog park. Front seat, back seat, front seat, back seat, front seat, back seat, tail wagging, front seat, back seat, front seat, back seat, front seat, back seat, tail wagging. He's like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. He's the only one celebrating. He's the only one excited. He's the only one talking about the details. But he's so excited he doesn't get it. Plus, on top of that, he thinks, no way, I lost an eye. No way. And I also didn't snitch. No way they would just take me and do me like this. Take me out back, out the pasture, like an old horse or old dog. No way. It's not even on his radar. He is so excited. I'm going to be a lieutenant. And this going to be nice. Okay, all right. I like this neighborhood. I like what it's giving. Oh, we going to clean up. We going to make so much money. We going to get that bag. And so they get out. They go down the alley. And he's like, all right. I like this side entrance. I like the way this look. You know what? I can see my name in lights up in here. Yeah, this going to be real noise. Real noise. And he goes inside. And they let him go inside. He was like, okay, I can work with this open space full of trash and dirt. I see the potential. Yeah. We're going to set up our packaging station here. Yeah. I can see a break room over here. It's going to be noise. It's going to be real noise. And Marvin done lit a cigarette. Lou ain't really come in the door fully. He just hanging around the door. But neither one of them still to this point have not said one single solitary word. So Scrap was like, okay, I like it. I like everything about it. He turns around to face Lou and to face Marvin. He was like, yeah, this gonna be nice. What y'all think? And by this time, Marvin has done lit his cigarette, drops that hand down, and there's a gun come off to the side. And when he feels the coldness of that barrel hit his temple, he said, oh, no. Down goes Scrap. Down he goes. Bloop. Almost bounces a little bit when he lands. Blood. Rock standing there with a smoking gun and a pair of black gloves on and a black jacket. Looking good. You know, she's a beautiful psychopath. A beautiful, gorgeous monstrosity of a psychopath. Okay? Before Scrap body could bounce the second time, we see the door close and the last of Lou's hand as he walks out the door. Rock see it too. Him turning his back on that situation, turning that back on her. That is supposed to let her know he's not with any of this. He doesn't want to participate in any of this. He doesn't want any parts of this. I'm done with you, Rock. I'm ashamed of you. You've gone too far. She feels it just in this gesture. Just in this gesture. The last of his hand as the door closes. He don't have nothing to say. We see where Marvin equally says nothing, but we see him wiping the tears from his face. He likes Scrap. He loves Scrap. He did not want to do this. He didn't see why it was necessary either. But he's learned to ride with Rock to the end. It is a crazy scene. It's a crazy scene. And we hear 50 Cent come over the headpiece. Over the narration, and he says, some things don't need no conversation. Some things you don't even need to speak on. I wonder what's going to happen with when Kanan finds out that Scrap is gone. And also finds out that this happens. You guys tell me what you think of this episode. That is the end of this episode. I'd love to know what you all think. It's crazy because, like I said, we're coming into the realization of who Rocky is as a character and just how brutal and how monstrous she is, what a psychopath she really is. I'm just waiting for all the characters to sort of catch up with that point, and I think then we're going to know a little bit more about what happened to Kanan's mom, Rock. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this episode. Y'all put it down below, and until next time, honeybees, mwah, 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 I holla.